Hey everybody, my name is Sherry and I'm the owner of AtoZ FITT, a remote health and wellness company. We have two aspects of our remote program. We have remote live exercise and we also have remote health coaching. Our health coaches at AtoZ FITT are here to help for education and giving you a personalized plan and helping hold you accountable to your nutrition goals. All of us know that working out and exercise is really important to your health and to losing weight and to staying healthy. But a lot of us kind of bypass the nutrition aspect, which is really the most important part of your wellness journey. So today I'm going to give you a couple of tips on how to be healthy, how to empower yourself with some education to help you be the healthiest you possible. So let's get started. So a couple of things to talk about first, and that is that when it comes to health, we really want to keep our nutrition with whole foods. So whole foods nutrition is absolutely where it's at for being healthy. That's what our cell recognizes. It recognizes these foods. And what do I mean by whole foods? It's something that was either grown on the earth or had four legs and walked on the earth or swam in the ocean at one time. So as you can imagine, that would be like chicken and turkey and cows and beef, pork, fish, seafood. That would be your meat categories. And then you'd have all kinds of vegetables and fruits, beans, legumes, grains. So all of these categories of foods are whole foods, and our body recognizes those and is able to process them very well. And that will help you stay the healthiest you if you make your diet a majority of whole foods. Processed foods, on the other hand, are things made in labs, chemicals, factories. So those would be items with long lists of ingredients of things you can't pronounce, or anything that comes in a box or a bag you want to be skeptical of. So let's take a few minutes and talk about how to educate yourself so you know what you're putting in your body is a whole food or not. So over here I have some different products. And I'm gonna bring the camera a little closer so you can see. Okay, I have a couple of products that we can go over because we can't always have whole foods at the ready. We need to be able to rely on some type of convenience foods that are in boxes or bags or glass jars. So let's look at how we are going to know if they're healthy or not. When you go to purchase your item, what you're going to always be looking for is the ingredient label. So most people look at the macro label, the calories and all of the proteins, fats, and carbs. This is what we're trained to look at. This actually doesn't even matter. We need to be looking at what our food has been made of before we consume it. If this checks the box for whole foods, then this is a perfect item to be putting into your body. So this is oats, rolled oats. And on the back here, you can see the ingredients are organic whole grain oats. You'd be surprised at how many oatmeals have sugar or other chemicals in them, sweeteners, and stabilizers, especially the quick oats. So you want to avoid those as much as possible. Here's another example of a good oats. So this is made by a company that I love called RX. I trust RX. They make a lot of great products that we'll get to one of their other products here in just a minute. But this ingredients is oats, almonds, dates, egg whites, apples, natural flavors, and cinnamon. So if you're looking for a quick style oat, this is definitely the way to go. Notice how it doesn't have any ingredients on there that's not a whole food. All of those foods items in the ingredient list you know are whole foods. Okay, here is a bar. So a lot of our bars, they're protein bars, they are the biggest offenders for chemicals and terrible ingredients. And I only approve of a couple. So this is made by RX. Like I mentioned, they're an excellent company. Their ingredients are dates, peanuts, egg whites, chocolate, natural flavors, sea salt, and cocoa. So this is a great way to go if you need a grab and go protein snack with 12 grams of protein in it. Here's a little treat carb snack. This is high in carbs, no protein in it whatsoever, but it's all whole foods. So it's called Larabar. The ingredients are dates, almonds, walnuts, unsweetened coconut powder, unsweetened chocolate. The end. So as long as it's unsweetened chocolate, we know that it doesn't have sugar in it. So we're trying to avoid sugar as it's in so many things. All of these, most of these samples I'm going to show you don't have sugar in them because I don't have anything in my house that has sugar in it. So to make this video, I would have had to buy some things and I just didn't. This Larabar here, this one does have a tiny bit of sugar in it and it's in the chocolate chips. So the ingredients of the bar is cashews, dates, apples, sea salt, vanilla extract, and also chocolate chips. And inside of the chocolate chips has unsweetened chocolate, sugar, cocoa butter. So there is a little bit of sugar in this one. And so just know, like, be picky about when you're putting sugar or chemicals into your body. Chemicals and artificial sweeteners, you definitely want to avoid as much as possible. Here's another great snack. It's an Epic bar, and it is a dried jerky. They're delicious. There's nothing in it. The ingredient list says chicken, sea salt, dried garlic, crushed red pepper, paprika, celery powder, onion, dried pepper, black pepper, cumin, and oregano. There you go. Healthy. Now, remember what I said, processed foods come in boxes and bags and containers. So you have to be very careful. These are both processed foods, but the ingredients on these are whole foods. Crackers are a very huge offender of just all kinds of weird stuff in them. Sugar, chemicals, and just dyes and things you don't want in your body. But both of these are very clean. This one is made from rice and this one's made from almond flour. Ingredients on this one is grain-free flour blend, which is almond, cassava, and coconut flour, chia seeds, flax seeds, coconut aminos, sea salt, shallots, thyme, rosemary, and rosemary extract. And then this one is made from rice flour, almonds, potato starch, brown rice, flax seeds, sea flour, and sea salt and safflower oil. That one's a good choice too. All right, so also be sure to check your seasonings because your seasonings can have some funky stuff in it. You don't want that. Here's two awesome different types of dressings or marinades. They are a huge offender of sugar or chemicals, and corn syrup, which you want to avoid, and cornstarch, which you want to avoid. But these two are great. These are both made by Primal. One is a barbecue sauce, one is a ranch dressing. The ingredients are all clean. The ingredients list, as you can see, is pretty long right there, but it's all whole foods. The one thing that might throw you is it's got organic guar gum, but that is actually a natural ingredient. This one, same thing. It's got tapioca starch, which might throw you, but that is just cassava flour. So when you know what your foods are, that's great you can also look it up to see, is this a whole food or not, if you're not sure about the ingredient. Here's 2 things that aren't clean on the ingredient list. They're not bad, so I would call them middle of the road. This cheese dip is, the ingredients are water, jalapeno peppers, soybean oil. Soybean oil is inflammatory, so you want to keep that out of your diet as much as possible. Pepper jack cheese, modified food starch. So that's a little bit of a, you don't want that. You don't want some, and then the next one is this is the biggie in this cheese dip here, and it's maltodextrin. So maltodextrin is not something you want. It's very addicting, and it's a type of sugar. And sugar comes in 61 different names. So you got to become a detective to be able to eat your food. That's why when I find staples that I like, I just stick to them. Here's one this is my husband's favorite, risotto, which is like a rice in a box. It's not awful, but it does have some things in it. Let's see. It's made of rice and a cheese blend, whey powder, salt, sodium citrate, which is fine, powdered sunflower oil, whey, natural flavors, wheat starch, dehydrated mushroom, salt, onion powder, yeast extract. It's actually not that bad. So I'll give this one a B+. Here's 2 examples of mustards. So you would think mustard wouldn't have anything bad in it, but it can, and most of them do. The ingredients on this one is distilled vinegar, water, mustard seed, sugar, mustard flour, honey, salt, garlic, lemon juice, xanthan gum, which is all natural. It's the sugar in here that you want to avoid. This one is just vinegar, mustard seed, water, salt, horseradish, spice, and white wine. There you go. So that's what you're looking for in your products. Here's a couple other examples. Pasta sauce can have sugar in it, and you have to be really careful with that. This one is organic tomato puree, organic tomatoes juice, sauteed onions, olive oil, garlic, basil, citric acid, which is just like lemon juice, oregano, fennel, black pepper, thyme. There you go. So be careful with your pasta sauces. They're loaded in added sugar usually. And then this one is also an offender. Any types of broths that you buy to make stuff with. This one has water, carrots, celery, onions, leeks, tomato paste, mushrooms, garlic, spices, sea salt. So that is definitely a good one. A lot of them have sugar in it. Now, almond butter, you would think it would just be almonds crushed up, right? No, it's usually not. Almond butter, peanut butter, they add oils and sugar and corn syrup and a bunch of gross stuff. But this one is actually just dry roasted almonds. So that's what you're looking for in your nut butter. Just the nut crushed up, added salt, that's fine. So yeah. So these are some of the ones that I had laying around my house to help you with this little video presentation. You ask yourself, why do food companies add these extra chemicals and sugar to their products? And the answer is, it keeps us coming back for more. Sugar is 9 times more addicting than cocaine. 9 times. So if they can sneak sugar or other chemicals that are just as addicting into our foods, guess what? They are going to have a customer for life. So that's their main concern. Food manufacturers do not, their main concern, most of them, is not your health. Their main concern is their pocketbook. That's why we have to educate ourselves, know exactly what we're putting into our bodies, because we are our #1 health advocate. And the more sugar and the more chemicals that we put into our body, our bodies are like I like this jar. The more sugar, the more chemicals, the more processed foods, the more toxins we put into our body, it fills the jar up. Eventually that jar will overflow with those toxins, sugar, inflammation, and chemicals. When it starts to overflow, that's when you're starting to see disease inside of the body, which can be autoimmune disorders, cancers, it can be hormonal imbalances, it could be migraines, it could be a whole slew of things that modern day medicine doesn't correlate these things to food. But this food is 100% in our control. So if we can start digging the toxins out of our jar, our bodies, so to speak, then we can impact our health. And that is completely within our power. So support your body the best by whole foods, eating whole foods our body recognizes, our cells recognize, it needs it. It's like putting the right gas in your car versus putting in peanut oil into your car. You don't want the processed foods into your cells. The next step for becoming your own health advocate is reading your ingredient labels, making sure the ingredient labels are clean. That way, you're 100% control over what goes in, what your cells use for fuel, and what outcome is going to happen to your body in the future. All right, well, thank you so much for paying attention for this video, and I hope it was helpful. And let me know if I can help you with anything else in the future. My web address is www.AtoZFITT.com. That's AtoZ FITT with 2 T's.com. And my email is info@AtoZFITT.com. Thanks. Bye.